Estate. Bill Jones, joined by my good friend Tom Jagucki, back in the hot seat.
Afternoon, Bill.
We're talking this week about winning multiple offers. So we need to bring in a real estate pro that's talking about winning multiple offers. You've been down that road at least once or twice, right?
Once or twice, one.
Probably just this week.
Yeah, this week we've had to throw out a couple of those.
All right, so we talked all week about the different things that needed. And again, we could talk all day about what needs to happen to win multiple, to win any offer, I think, then. So we'll kind of dive a little bit into each little topic here. We won't go real deep into anything. So talking about what do you need to win multiple offers. So first couple things we covered throughout the weekend. We talked about pre-approval letters. Is that important or not? What do you think?
Pre-approval letter is important, not just for multiple offers, it's for any offer.
Yep.
You're going to want that pre-approval letter. It does more than just say you're financially stable enough and have approval for that loan. It says what type of loan we need to put on the contract.
Yep.
Whether it's a conventional loan or a VA loan, each particular loan style carries their own set of little rules and house requirements. So we need to know that going in so that the seller knows coming out of the offer what things they may be on the hook for.
Which is definitely pertinent to their decision on what offer they may want to work with, especially in a multiple offer situation. So get your pre-approval letter. We've talked about it. If you're going to buy a house, you need your pre-approval letter now. All right, money talks. Okay, so we do some concern as far as for buyers, especially in this market, big sellers market. Buyers, a lot of multiple offer situations. Sometimes they're uncomfortable with the number they end up with. So whatever that final number is, they want to know, can they justify that price? The asking price or whatever price they're offering. We say a lot of times an appraisal will help with that.
An appraisal will help with that. An appraisal will help look, us as realtors and as we price homes, we're looking forward.
Yep.
What our house is going to be worth in the next 2 to 5 years.
And you mean by that because an appraisal is always looking the other way. They're looking in the past.
Appraiser's looking the other way.
We're looking at the current market.
What similar homes have sold recently in this dollar amount. Now, they also will say, boy, there's not a lot of options out there right now. So they'll give it a bump on occasion.
Yep.
They'll say, hey, this does justify the price. So in that instance, to justify the price, the appraisal process is going to do that. The appraiser is going in to say, is the bank making a financially good decision loaning X dollars on this property?
Yep. So that'll give them some cover then. So if you got your offer, just for whatever the number, $150,000 offer price, and you're like, I don't know, am I paying too much? Am I not? Another, objective third party, the appraiser is going to look at that price and see if they can justify that number. Exactly. And your contract will it should be contingent upon
appraisal being equal to or better than the offer.
Yep. So you want to make sure you get that written in then. So, okay. So we're trying to win multiple offers. It gets dicey here, but waiving contingency. So we talked a little bit about inspections and things like that.
Inspections, caveats on an offer will not look as attractive to a seller. There are some of those things like a VA loan that has to be on a certain couple of things.
The loan requirement. They're looking for certain things.
That's right. So, but if you waive requirements, like, listen, we've got 6 or 8 different options for inspections. If you're going to do all of those and this offer is going to do one
or none,
there's a lot less headaches with this offer that may be the lowest offer. A lot of times we'll hear in multiple offer situations, we need your highest and best offer by X date and time. Highest may not be best.
Yeah.
Best may be the cleanest. And I say cleanest, waiving contingencies.
Yep.
Pulling some of those contingencies off of there, contingent upon, the cat doesn't get a hairball.
Anything. It could be any contingency then. So, highest and best doesn't necessarily mean highest price. And,
that's right.
Waiving contingency. We always recommend you get a home inspection.
That's right.
But do whatever you're comfortable with, certainly. So, all right, get personal. I think you and I disagree a little bit on this one here. Maybe we were talking about this before we went on, but so get personal, I mean, getting to know the seller a little bit, finding out what they like, and then maybe showcasing what you are as a buyer. What do you love about the house? What's your situation?
There is some times where it's good to differentiate yourself from other offers. Hey, it depends on how the house is set up.
Sure.
If you can tell, listen, there's kids in the home. They've raised their kids here. You can see the progression of the pictures on the wall. That's what we plan to do here as well. Obviously, that letter can touch on some of those things and have an effect.
Sure. I pull on the heartstrings a little bit there.
Heartstrings a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But again,
it helps. Kind of explain your situation and say why you. Why should we pick this buyer.
Sure. And it depends on the seller. If the heartstrings may work, or the purse strings might work a little better that way then too. So
True.
All right. So cash is great. Of course, cash is great. But what do we mean it by in this?
If you look at the hierarchy of what's the easiest, cleanest deal, cash is king, is what they've always said.
Sure.
King, queen, whatever you want to say. Cash is the best, and then you get into your different financing options. Cash is always the cleanest because it can happen so much quicker.
Sure.
Not necessarily it's the best price, but it can happen. The transaction can happen and come to fruition so much sooner.
Yep.
And that's where that cash is great.
And then the bank, anytime you're getting a bank involved or more parties involved, you got the bank, the underwriters, the appraisal, a lot of more title work and things like that they're done. Right. So, so cash can get it done a lot quicker. So if they're the same amount, I think you're going to lose every time. Even if it's a little less and it's cash, a lot of times you might lose that as well. But unless you write that personal letter, then you're going to win. No. All right.
Or if you have an escalation clause.
That's what we're just going to talk about, escalation clause. You read my mind. So
you had that on the show this week. So.
Escalation clause, so we talked about that a lot. I mean, maybe not perfect for every instance, but it definitely can help a lot of times. So we could talk for 2 hours about it, but the brief, you think that helps? Is it not?
It does help. It allows your buyers to say, we're willing to go if we have to. We'd like to be here at our offer. But if in multiple offers, which we're seeing a lot of, we're willing to go.
Yep.
And then again,
and by go you mean raise your price a little bit.
We're willing to go
here,
and raise the price.
We'll go to there.
Yeah, up a significant amount. Again, it's going to go back to that appraised value.
Yep.
So we can raise that buying amount. I'd rather be here, but if I have to, I'll go here.
Yep. I'll escalate my offer from there then too. And again, you got to be careful how you word those and what you do with it. So make sure you're working with somebody like Tom that knows what they're doing with that. So, all right, increase your down payment or earnest money, things like that. Then too. Either way, do you get a bigger down payment or earnest money?
Earnest money is a good show of faith that, listen, I'm not just putting these numbers out here. I'm not just making an offer because I really like the house, but I don't know yet. And I don't have my pre-approval, but here's my offer.
Yep.
Here's earnest money. I'm serious. I'm ready to purchase. You've got my offer. You've got my proof of funds letter.
I got some skin in the game
here. I've got some skin in the game. I have made a significant $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $500 investment out of pocket. I'm serious.
Sure.
So that's where the earnest money does come in, and it will help.
So the seller looks at that as part of the consideration of the contract that they're there for real then. So and we touched a little bit about non-refundable earnest money or deposits and things like that. That gets scary. You definitely want to make sure you build that in there. We've only done that in some instances, but if you got to have the house or if it's and you want to pull out all the stops, there's other things you can do.
Sure.
So be careful with that. So, all right. So we did get some questions in here. We already touched on this. Do you need to get Do you need to get personal with your offer? Do you need that love letter?
Maybe.
Yeah. It might help.
You know what? If you feel comfortable sending that and you feel comfortable sharing your personal information about this is us, this is my family, this is who we are, and this is why we think your house is best and great for us.
Yep.
By all means, do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes people don't want them to know who's, I don't want them really to know who I am or, so whatever the situation works. But I always love, you got me and my dog sitting there saying, my dog will love your house too. And
Right.
All right. A little bit different. So if we're trying to win multiple offers, but can you withdraw your offer on a house? Was the question then. So that would be maybe you do get multiple offers, and I don't want to fight that hard.
Here's a couple of instances that could happen. One, you could get multiple offers, and you could say, you know what, I'm losing sleep over this. I'm out.
Sure.
Just pull me out. The other thing that could happen is, hey, we put this offer in. It's multiple offers. Yep, we've got our offer in, but they're gonna look at them on Saturday afternoon. Holy crap, Bill, this perfect house just came into market this morning. I want to see this house.
Yeah, I want this one more.
I can't make an offer on two houses, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to rescind one before you can go forward on another. That would be an instance of, yes, you can pull that back.
Yep.
Until it's been accepted, until it's been signed, delivery of notification to your agent that it's been accepted, you can and you have the right to pull that back.
So until it's a signed contract, you can
pull it back.
What we call it rescind your offer from then.
That's right.
So I tell that people, well, can we put an offer on that house too? I'm like, are you willing to buy two homes? So, probably not. All right.
Bill would love you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Homes.
Yeah. So what? And again, this is a long one here. What does a house offer look like? I mean, if you're putting an offer in, obviously you should see it. But
an offer on a house is not a text message. It's not an email thread. It is a legal contract that's been drawn up by the attorneys. That's been approved by our board, by the MLSs.
So ours is actually a 6-page
Six
purchase offer
pages,
and disclosures on top
initials
of that.
on every page.
Yep.
A lot of it is tick the box and put dates in, closing dates, what inspections, possession dates, how does earnest money handled. It spells all of that out in great detail so everybody knows that's why it's 6 pages.
Yeah.
And then everybody signs, everybody initials every page and signs the final page on the contract. So it becomes a legal document.
And not that
That's why
6
it's 6
pages
pages.
is the magic number. There's some contracts are shorter, some are not, but we like ours because it addresses the process, who's paying for what, who's handling what, when do you get your keys. So there's a lot to that.
Everything down to title company and whose name is it going to be titled into.
All right. Is, again, on this note, is a house offer legally binding? And again, we're not attorneys, but
Right. We talk about that a lot here in the office of we're not practicing law. We are filling in the blanks. We are using standard verbiage for some of those fill in the blank spots.
Yep.
But yes, it becomes a legal document that's been vetted by attorneys that has some opportunities in there that you can say, gosh, I don't want to be locked in. There are opportunities in there.
The contingencies.
Contingencies, home inspection. If it doesn't appraise, if the home inspection comes back and you're like, you know what, there's too many things. I just don't, I'm not feeling comfortable.
Sure.
You can pull out.
And you're, again, not attorney, but you're perfectly legal to exercise those rights in
That's
that
right.
contract.
And share it with
So,
your family attorney. If you've got an attorney, put it in front of them and say, how does this really position me?
Yep. All right. So how long does it take for a house offer to be accepted, or how long does those negotiations usually go on for?
There is a line within the contract that says
that's good.
this offer is
Covers that.
open until XYZ date. It could be tomorrow. It could be you put a date and a time that the offer is open till. And when we say open, the offer is good until that time frame. After that time frame, it's essentially expired.
Yep.
Now, could they still accept it? Sure, if you're willing to accept it.
Yeah, it kind of goes back and forth. Yeah, we could talk for a while about that.
How long does it take the offer to be accepted? It could go back and forth in the countering, back and forth, until we all agree.
Yep. So we've had offers accepted within literally minutes. We've had some that have gone on for days or weeks. It just depends.
Yep.
So just depends on the situation. So, all right, how do you, kind of on this, how do you negotiate a counter offer? And no one way to skin a cat there, but
right, getting with your agent and seeing what the counter offer, if there was an offer presented to you, how do you counter offer that from a seller standpoint or from a buyer standpoint?
Either one. How do you negotiate a counter offer?
You kind of look at that and say, are we willing to accept that? Is it within the confines of what we're willing to accept? Yes. Then you might accept the offer.
Yeah.
Or you might say, you know what, everything's great except this one part here we're not comfortable with. You're going to counter offer that one part you're not comfortable with.
So, and a counter offer it should be in writing. So you're writing, I want this number, I want these terms.
That's right.
And it goes down
all
the
other
chain,
terms remain the same. Here's the one thing that we want to discuss or have a difference on. It can be something from the difference of the title company.
Yep.
It could be possession date. It could be purchase price.
Yeah.
It could be amount of money for escrow, for earnest money. It could be any of those things.
One or all.
Timing,
it could be
or
everything.
all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. All right. A couple more here, and then I'll let you go. I promise here. Do you need an escalation clause? Do you have to have an escalation clause?
Do you have to have an escalation clause? No.
They'd like to hear more than that.
Will it potentially help you win the buying process? Most likely, yes. And most likely today's market, you can anticipate you're not going to be the only escalation clause.
Yeah, if
We've
you're multiple
about
offers,
enough. We're seeing enough of them. From our seller's side, we're seeing multiple offers with escalation clauses within them. So you're probably not going to be the only one. Again, you go back to half of these things, remove contingencies, go to cash, write the letter. You might not need it.
Sure.
But it's nice to have it.
And if you are comfortable, you think you're the only offer on the table, you probably maybe don't. I don't know. But again, if something else comes in while you're negotiating, when it takes that undetermined amount of time to come to a deal, there could be another offer come in, you get booted out. So,
matter of minutes. So, any more a matter of minutes is paramount.
Yeah.
With a negotiating process.
All right. Last one. So another big question. How do you win multiple offers, Tom? How do you guarantee a win with a multiple offer? Is there a guarantee?
Everything we just talked about, all of those things combined into one big honeypot will help position you in the best case scenario. Having your pre-approval letter right up front. Having, if you're a cash buyer, having the proof of funds where the money's coming from.
Yeah.
Is it coming from in your investments? Is it coming from your bank account? Is it coming from
there's a difference
grandma's?
in cash. You're right
There's
about
a
that.
difference in
Is it
cash.
cash under the mattress,
We need to
or
have
do I need to sell
that.
stock? Yeah.
To position yourself the best, you need to say, I'm willing to do this, and I'm willing to go as far as this. That's going to help you win the offer. You've got to position yourself to win. You have to step aside and say, if I was on the other side of this, what would be most attractive to me if I was selling? And if you can position yourself that way and think that way as you present your offer, I think that'll be very, very beneficial to you.
What's our buddy Greg say? Are you going to are you going to buy the house, or are you going to try to buy the house? You know what I mean? So I guess if it's the place and the way the market is, you probably want to pull it out of the stop to try to. It doesn't mean you need to give away the farm, but do the right things. Everything you just kind of covered there, and what we talked about this week then too. Just position yourself as best as you can. Put your best foot forward.
Exactly.
Don't assume you're going to be the only offer.
Call your agent.
Yeah.
Call us. Talk to us. We'll help guide you through the process. I'm consistently telling people, I'm here to help guide you through the process. All of these things, all of those questions, everything you've been talking about for the last 3 weeks are part of the process. Our job is to help guide through that process. This is what we do every day.
So if somebody wants to call Tom Jagucki, how do they call Tom Jagucki? How do they find you? Where's your social media? Where are you
everywhere.
at? Where?
419-656-5084.
You heard that? And you're on
Tom Jagucki everywhere. Tom, Jagucki.
Yep, that's an easy one to spell. So Facebook,
Absolutely.
Instagram, you'll find him here. So he'll help you win. Maybe not guarantee, but he's going to do everything he can to get you win that multiple offer situation. All right, Tom, I really appreciate the time, your expertise. I'm sure we'll have you back here sooner than later.
Absolutely.
Thanks, sir.
Happy
All right,
to.
we'll check in next week here. Make sure we'll have more to cover here, and we'll continue making sense of real estate. Talk to you soon.